Alright, what's the absolutely bare essentials you need to buy to actually work on a bike? I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that you don't need that much. There's plenty of parts and tools that you should be able to buy to work on bikes. Since I moved to Vietnam here, I don't have all my tools that I normally would have, but these few things that I have here in front of me, it's gonna be just what you need. It'll be nice to have the other things, but not necessary. So let's go over it. So first up, you need a bottom bracket tool. This fits multiple sizes. So this one has I think 4 different sizes, 5 different sizes here. But yeah, you absolutely need this to tighten your bottom bracket and torque it down. I got this on Lazada and it came with a ratchet, and I believe this was $100,000 VND. Which is about $4, so not too bad. I will consider this the absolutely essential stuff to work on your bike. This is a hex set, metric sizing. But yeah, this, as you guys should know, is what you need to work on the bolts and stuff on a bicycle. Actually, the kind that has a ball end helps you get in at different angles or odd angles into the bolt. Really unnecessary, especially for the shifters. And you should tighten this down. When you need to tighten the bolt down, this allows you to get in the bolt to tighten it at an awkward angle. So definitely invest in a set that has a ball end. Alright, so next up we got like a multi-sized hex key set or handle tool, whatever you want to call this. But yeah, it has 4mm, 5mm, and 6mm size. It's pretty handy to work on your bike. You don't actually need this, but this actually is pretty useful, so you don't have to keep switching bits when you have a bit driver or this. So you can do this, you can take one out one by one or use this. So this is useful if you're gonna get into like tight areas. If you have a lot of room to work on, use this because you can switch sizes pretty quickly. You got a chain breaker. So you do need this to install your new chain. Most likely your chain comes oversized, and this is actually needed to actually size your chain properly to your bike. So this one is from a brand called Tupri. Not too bad. It's good quality. You know, basic, but it gets the job done. And I believe this was 75,000 VND, which is about $3 US. This is the next tool here. I would say this is necessary. This allows you to work on quick links, master links, power links. There's many names for it, but it's a quick connect adapter for the chain. So this allows you to disconnect and also to connect it as well. But yeah, you definitely should get this. And this was super cheap. This was, I believe, 50,000 VND, which is about $2 US. So something you should buy. And this is the better one. It's full size, so you get a more comfortable grip. But yeah, something you should get. Yeah, if you're building a brand new bike, you definitely need this. This is a clamp that holds your steer tube for the fork, and this allows you to use a saw to cut and give you a nice straight cut. So you don't want your steer tube to be cut at an angle. You kind of want it nice and straight. But yeah, this is not necessary, but this is nice to have. So definitely something you should get. I believe this was about 120,000 VND, which is about 5-6 USD. So not too bad. Next up, you need a chain whip. You don't absolutely need this, since if you're only going to tighten your cassette, but you absolutely need this, which is the cassette tool if you're using a Shimano free hub. This is what tightens up your cassette onto the wheel. But yeah, these two things here, I believe this is about 100,000 VND as well, which is about 4 USD. And then this here, I think I bought this at a bike shop. This was about 300,000, so about 12 USD. Yeah, it's a insertion tool for the, I guess the nipples. So on the side here, this is a nice one. It's from a brand called Tupri as well, and this one has a cutter on the side, so this gives you a nice straight cut, and then it allows you to put the needle, I guess needle at the end of the brake line. So it's nice to use this, and then just tighten down the needle into the brake hose. It's not absolutely necessary, but you know what? This was cheap. This was about I think 90,000 VND, which is about $4 or $5, less than $4. Definitely invest in this. Makes your life easier. What I've done before is just use a little hammer or something to tap and tap the needle into the end of the hose. Not very efficient. This is nice and cheap. Use this, totally worth it. Next up, a brake bleed kit. This is absolutely necessary if you're going to do hydraulic brakes. This has pretty much everything you need. I would say this one's Shimano specific, so this one's a little expensive. I think this was 350 VND, 350,000 VND, which is about $12–13 USD. But yeah, you definitely need this. It has all the tools you need, the bits, and has a brake bleed cup. So yeah, syringe, things like that. If you never bled your brakes before, go ahead and look it up on YouTube. There's pretty much plenty out there, so you don't need me to explain how to do it, but yeah, definitely buy this. Alright, next up we got some cable cutters. So this was a cheap cable cutter you can find pretty much anywhere in Vietnam. It cuts cables. So yeah, anything that can cut a cable, especially during the shifters, the mechanical shifters, you need this to cut the brake, the shifter housing, and also the cable inside. So this one was about 100,000 VND, 4 USD. But yeah, this is something you should buy. You definitely need it. Without it, you can't really cut anything. So if you can't cut the housing or the cable, then you can't shift your bike, right? But yeah, something to invest in as well. Alright, future me here. Just doing the editing and looked up the prices. So Lazada, what happens on there is the prices changes, promotions and things expire. So if you're willing to wait a little bit, you can get the same price as I did. Sometimes they're even cheaper than what I bought it for. So go ahead and take your time. If you're willing to wait, just add it to cart and then see when it's cheapest. But yeah. Alright, that does it for my essential toolkit that you need to buy to work on your bike here. A lot of these things are pretty much necessary, but there are some things that are necessities, that are nice to have, that aren't essential. But I would say everything you buy here will make your life a lot easier to build a bike. Altogether, these tools weren't too expensive. Anyone could buy these things. Lazada, like I said, is great. I love Lazada. Everything on there is pretty cheap and fairly fast in shipping. I typically get things to Vietnam in about 3 to 4 days, sometimes longer, but yeah, overall things are cheap, and you know what, it helps you build your bike, so go ahead and invest in these things. Alright guys, catch you later.